Good morning. Jesus is Lord. Thank God. The word works. Romans 10:10 says, with the heart man believes unto righteousness, but with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. And that is the way that you receive it's the way you receive salvation. And then it's the way you receive all of the promises that Jesus purchased for you. They're all yours. So you start confessing the words, confessing the word. I shared with you the last couple of days some examples of confession of people in the Old Testament. And now I'm going to share with you some of the confessions in the New Testament, because God works the same all the way through. Do you remember the woman with the issue of blood? And she said with her mouth, and the word says she was continually saying, if I may touch but the hem of his garment, I shall be whole. If I may touch but the hem of his garment, I shall be whole. The whole key is, what did she say? Her mouth took her. You know, in Proverbs, it says you are snared by the words of your mouth. You are taken with the words of your mouth. So her mouth, even though she was weak, even though she had this issue of blood, her mouth took her through the multitude to the hem of Jesus. And when she touched his garment, she was made whole. Jesus turned about and he said, who touched me? The disciples said, Lord, the people are thronging you. There was a multitude of people there thronging him. How can you say, who touched me? He said, no, this touch was a touch of faith, and I felt power go out of me. So this woman who had said that I shall be made whole, she was made whole. And Jesus turned around and said to her the exact words that she had said. He said, woman, your faith hath made you whole. Another person, Jairus, who had come to Jesus before this woman did, and said, Lord, my daughter lies at the point of death. Now listen to what he said. Come and lay your hands on her, and she shall be healed, and she shall live. He declared with his mouth what he believed Jesus was going to do for him. Well, did Jesus do it? Yes, Jesus is the Father in person. Jesus, he said, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. It said Jesus left the multitude and went with him. He went with the one, even though there were plenty of people in the crowd that I know had needs. You know they did. But the one that made the declaration of faith, the confession of faith, Jesus left the multitude to go with that one. And you know what? Those words caused his daughter to be healed and to live. One more quick example, maybe a couple more. The centurion, he said with his mouth, Lord, you don't have to come to my house. He said, you just say in a word, and my servant shall be healed. And Jesus said, I've not seen so great faith, no, not in Israel. The centurion got what he said. Jairus got what he said. The woman with the issue of blood got what she said. And you know, there's another example that I want to quickly tell you. Do you remember when Jesus was Jesus was walking on the water, and he said to Peter, come. Peter would have never had faith to come had he not spoken the word come. Peter was walking on the word to Jesus. Well, then Peter got his eyes off of the word and began to sink. But do you know Jesus did not do anything until Peter cried out to him, Lord, save me? Once he cried out, Jesus lifted out his hand to him and lifted him up, and they walked back to the boat together. What about Stephen? Stephen said, Lord, into your hands I commit my spirit. But he could have said, Lord, save me. He got what he said. Peter got what he said. The woman with the issue of blood, Jairus, and you have what you say. Start confessing what the word says about you. Receive it, believe it, confess it, receive it, and possess it in Jesus' name. Remember, Jesus is Lord. Thank God the word works. Possess